Where is my Sarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the Saviour of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? And where is Krsna Das Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against a rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to attain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps. Narottam, this is from Narottam Das Thakur's Partha. Partha is some prayers written by Narottam Das Thakur, extremely intimate and esoterical prayers, very deep prayers indeed. It is said that Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he would always sing the prayers of Narottam Das Thakur from Premi Bhakti Chandrika and Pratana, from these two songs. They're collections of songs. So Pratana and Premi Bhakti Chandrika. Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj would always sing these songs. So he's praying in a mood of lamentation. Lamentation due to separation from the Lord and his associates. So, just like one can have feelings of attachment and separation for Krishna, so also one can have feelings of attachment and separation for his devotees, especially his advanced devotees. So Narottam Das Thakur is feeling here separation for the Lord's advanced devotees. These devotees that he lists here are the most advanced. They're the confidential servitors of Radha and Krishna. So they're not ordinary devotees at all. So Narottam Das Thakur is experiencing separation. Of course, one cannot feel any separation unless there is attachment in the first place. There has to be some attachment in the first place. One feels only separation or viraha. Viraha is separation, or vipralamba. It is only there if there is some attachment in the first place. Just like if you have a car and you're very attached to your car and someone steals it, then you feel some anxiety, you feel some pain. And you feel the pain because you're attached to the car. But if you're not attached to that car, if it was a rented car or something and someone steals it, then you don't feel pain. So separation is only there due to attachment. So first there has to be attachment. If there's no attachment, then this word separation simply becomes it's not experienced. It's something that one can talk about, but it's not actually experienced. So there has to be attachment in the first place. So Narottam Das Thakur has very deep attachment for these personalities that he's mentioning. So therefore he can talk about separation. But if there is if there's no attachment or little attachment in the first place, then what type of separation can you experience? Can't really experience much. So there has to be some attachment. So Narottam is very attached. So where have such personalities as Srinivas gone? They have brought the treasure of divine love, and they are filled with compassion and mercy. Where is such a person as Srinivas? Srinivas was an associate of Narottam. There were three, Srinivas, Narottam and Shyamananda. and they were very much friends. So in spiritual life, who does one become friendly with? Elevated devotees. But the word sujat, sujata or sujat, what does this mean? Sujat means of the same caste. So what it really means in spiritual life, sujat means like-minded Vaishnavas. Like-minded. So all Vaishnavas worship Krishna, but still within that mood of worshipping Krishna there may be different categories. So one associates sujat with like-minded devotees who have the same mood. You understand? So in the practice of devotional service there are so many different moods. You see? So Narottam Das's mood, what is his mood? Huh? Oh, you lost your voice. Anyone can say, what was Narottam Das Thakur's mood? No, yeah, we discussed that. No, in terms of his bhakti. Madhurya Ras. So in other words, Narottam Das Thakur was very much wanting to associate with residents of Vrindavan and practice Braja Bhakti, especially in that mood, especially in the mood of Madhurya Ras, Narottam. Therefore he's associating with, who is his associates? I just mentioned. Srinivas, Syamananda. In the same mood. They are in the same sujat. This is what it means, sujat, in that same mood. So these were these three, Srinivas and Narottam and Syamananda, were the next generation after the six Goswamis. They were the next generation after the six Goswamis. So we had Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, and then the six Goswamis. Then the next generation after the six Goswamis were these three. In the disciple succession is mentioned only Narottam's name. Only Narottam's name is mentioned. But they're all of the same category and all bona fide. So he has brought the treasure of divine love, and he was filled with compassion and mercy. Where is such a personality as Srinivas, Acharya, God? Where is my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? So these are three of the six Goswamis. So he wants to know where they have gone. Where is my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? So, and where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Krishnadas Kaviraj is the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also considered a contemporary of the six Goswamis. Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against a rock and I will enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? So this is his mood. I will smash my head against the rock. So in separation, this is his thinking, this is his feeling. And I will enter into fire. What does this mean, fire? Anyone know? It means that one's body can burn in the fire of separation. And it is described that when Krishna would leave every day in the pasturing, in the pleasure, in Braj, it's called Gosta Lila, Gostha, Gosta Lila. This means he would go into the pasturizing fields with the cowherd boys and Gopas, cowherd boys. So Radharani, especially, all the residents of Vrindavan would feel anxiety, but especially Radharani, very much anxiety. Even though it's understood Krishna would come back in a few hours, still she would feel so much anxiety. For the residents of Vrindavan, like Mother Yasoda, when Krishna left, 1 second would be like 12 years. Every second that Krishna was gone would be like 12 years. That was for Mother Yasoda. But for the gopis, every second was like millenniums. It was even more. It wasn't 12 years, it was like millenniums. Because they were feeling so much more awkward, because their attachment was so much more deeper. So Radharani also would feel so much separation for Krishna that her body would begin to burn. Her body would actually begin to burn and become very, very hot. So her associates, maidservants, would try to cool her body down. So how would they do that? Yeah, but sometimes that can excite someone even more, and then the temperature goes higher. Fan, so they would fan to try to cool down. And also chandan. Yeah, chandan has a cooling effect. We would put this on Prabhupada. I also was able to do this. I actually put on Prabhupada many times. We would make chandan, sandalwood pulp, with a little bit of saffron and camphor, some camphor, and a little bit of rose water. And then you put on the head here, and it cools. It cools. What is it now? Some monster. So, what were we talking about? So chandan. Yeah. So they make for the deities. Do any of you make for the deities upstairs? Leela? You make? How you make it?
It is saffron, rose water, camphor.
And you mix it. So it's not too runny also. Whenever we would give to Prabhupada, we couldn't have it too runny, because you put it here and then it runs down onto his eyebrows. So it has to be pasty, but it can't run down. You know? The most embarrassing thing is you put this chandan on Prabhupada and it starts to run down onto his eyebrows. So that's how we'd make the chandan. So they covered Radharani's body in chandan, and chandan is meant to have a cooling effect. But it didn't. Instead, her body, the chandan just dried up. It just dried up so quickly. And then they would make a bed of very beautiful flowers, like jasmine, chameli, champak. They would make a bed of very, very beautiful, sweet-smelling flowers, and put a very thin silk cloth over those flowers. You know, very, very thin and beautiful. And then Radharani would sit there or lie down there. But immediately, due to the fire separation, then all those flowers would dry up. They would immediately dry up. So this would be, you know, Radharani's condition due to separation, due to the fire separation in her body. One time, Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami was also feeling separation, and he fell unconscious, and his breath became so hot that whoever's hand or body was near that breath was burnt. His breath actually burnt your hands, or due to separation. His breath actually burnt. It was like hot, it burnt. And this is due to separation. So Radharani is feeling this intense separation. So what to do? So one messenger came from Mother Yasoda, from Nandagram. One messenger came. And the Dhanista. And the messenger told Radharani that shortly, Krishna will be coming back from Gosta Leela. Shortly he'll be coming back. And Mother Yasoda is requesting you to come to Nandagram and to cook. She wants you to come and she wants you to cook. Because Krishna will be coming back. And, he must take something that you have eaten. Because everyone knows that if anyone eats any food that you have cooked, then it gives them very good health. And they become very fortunate. And it's all auspicious. Because Radharani had that benediction from Devasa Muni, that whatever she cooks, that person has good fortune. Asubha gets so many blessings. So immediately Radharani became very happy, and so then after preparing herself very nicely, taking bath, preparing herself very nicely, she went with her associates from where she was, Yavat, to Nandagram. So she's walking. And then she comes to Nandagram. Then the fire of separation is going down a little bit. But still it's very, very intense. It's burning. So then she comes and Mother Yasoda meets her and greets her. And then Mother Yasoda will tell her, my dear daughter, my Priyatama, my dearest daughter, you will please cook now and prepare some very nice prasadam for Krishna. So she goes to the kitchen where there are ovens. And there are many, many ovens. 50 ovens. Many, many ovens. And each oven is burning. And it's very hot. Each oven is burning and is very hot. And her associates and friends have already cut up so many different vegetables. Everything is there for her to do it. So then she takes off her garland and heavy jewelry or whatever it may be, and then puts it to one side, and then she starts to cook. And her associates, Rupa Manjari and Lalita Vishaka, they also may assist her. So while she is cooking, it's so hot. You can imagine these big ovens cooking. So Rupa Manjari says, it is very strange and very amazing that when you're feeling the fire of separation for Krishna, we are fanning you and we are putting chandan on your body, but still everything is burnt up. But now you are cooking with all these fires and it is so hot, but now your temperature has been reduced. Because she knows that she's going to see Krishna very shortly. So the temperature has come down. So she's not feeling so much separation as she was before. So her temperature has come down, although externally it's even hotter. See? So she will cook like that. So this fire of separation is experienced also by Narottam Das Thakur. I will smash my head against a rock and I will enter into the fire. So enter into the fire means one's body becomes like fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? As Narottam Das is saying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Radharani. So in other words, he's saying, where will I find Radhika, Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to attain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all these devotees, in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps. So we can read about these types of feelings, but it may be many lifetimes before we can experience this. But we can read about this. So this is why it's very good to read about the pastimes of the residents of Vrindavan. And Narottam is in his spiritual form a resident of Vrindavan, and in his material or sadhak form he's also an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. So either way we want to think of him. Either we want to think of him like this, as an associate of Lord Chaitanya, or we want to think of him as an associate of Lord Krishna. Either way, it is very helpful for our bhakti to try to understand his emotions and what he's thinking and what he's feeling and what he's saying. This is why we read the books of the Goswamis and so forth, so we can better understand their mood. So we're strictly following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis, and the more strictly we can follow in their footsteps, then the more advanced we become. Sankhya Pauravaka Nama Gana Nitavi Kala Vasana Kritu Nidrahara Vaharakadi Vichatu Vajantadina Jayantadina Daya Radha Krishna Guna Shmita Madhuraya Mandina Samhuito Bande Rupa Sanatana Raguligo Shri Jiva Gopalago. Of my speculative obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Jiva Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord and bowing down in a scheduled measurement. In this way they utilize their valuable lives, and in executing the devotional activities they conquered over eating and sleeping, and were always meek and humble, enriched by remembering the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So the Goswamis, their lives are very valuable. So what did they use their valuable lives in doing? What? Chanting and pranam. What's that? Bowing down. And how did they do it? Sankhya Pauravaka. Sankhya means? What is the word Sankhya? Huh? Numerical strength. Prabhupada said, Sankhya Pauravaka. Chant, numerical strength must be there. That means fixed number. Fixed number. When you're in the platform of Siddha and perfect, then it's different. It's a different thing. But we're not there. So numerical strength, Sankhya Pauravaka. Sankhya means numerical strength. Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya, numerical strength. So that means fixed number. So the Goswamis are strictly chanting a fixed number. And they were bowing down fixed number of times. So fixed number, what does fixed number mean? When we say that word Sankhya or Pauravaka, fixed number, what does that mean? Yeah? What amount? And then Gamanjari?
64.
Yes. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described when these types of statements are there, it means 1 lakh. And actually up to 3 lakhs. It means 1 lakh. It can also mean 3 lakhs because that's Haridas Thakur, and that was the standard. But it means 1 lakh. And this is what the Goswamis were doing. Raghunath Das Goswami would chant every day 1 lakh, and only then would he take water. Only then would he drink water. Sanatana Goswami every day would, and Raghunath also would bow down so many times, over 1,000 times, to Vaishnavas, to wherever Krishna performed his pastimes. He would go to Govardhan Hill and offer his obeisances, and then walking around Govardhan Hill, he would go to so many places, Kusam Sarova, he would offer his obeisances, and then come to Govinda Kund, offer his obeisances, Anil, offer his obeisances, Apsara Kund, offer his obeisances, Panchami, offer his obeisances, Rasastali, offer his obeisances, Jatipur, Uddhava Kund, Radha Kund, Syama, offers obeisances, every place, with feeling as well. When we offer our obeisances, and we have feeling, When we offer our obeisances, we're thinking so many other things. When we offer our obeisances, then sometimes even we fall asleep. It's happened. So many things. We try to get it over with as quickly as possible. Sometimes even we may think, now I'm offering my obeisances, but I'm doing it so nicely. I'm saying my pranam so nicely and clearly. I hope other people can hear, and they will be impressed. There's all different moods, but actually, ideally, when one does pranam and offers obeisances, it's with real feeling. So Raghunath Das Goswami would do this, and then he would offer to Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, Vrinda Devi, Bhakti Devi, one after the other, Lord Shiva's Gopishwara. And then he would offer to Vrishabhanu Maharaj. Who's Vrishabhanu Maharaj? Father of Radharani, Kirtida, Mukhara, everyone. Sridharma, Sudharma, the cowherd boys. He would offer to Balaram. He'd offer his obeisances to Balaram. And then the associates of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas. He would offer his obeisances like that. And in a fixed number. And Sanatana Goswami also would walk around Govardhan Hill. He liked to do this every day, to walk around Govardhan Hill. And they tried to strictly keep to their vows. They wanted to strictly keep to the vows. When Haridas Thakur also, when he became ill, then Govinda, the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, came. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave direct instruction to Govinda that every day you take some prasad remnants and you give to Haridas Thakur, because Haridas Thakur was living in a cave. He was living in a cave by himself, outside Jagannath Puri. And this was out of his extreme humility. Out of his extreme humility. He didn't want to contaminate the other devotees. He didn't want them to touch him. He didn't want to touch them accidentally. Out of extreme humility, he felt that he wasn't qualified to be in their association. It's amazing. So he lived in one cave, but Mahaprabhu would come to see him every day. So if you have extreme humility, then Krishna will come and see you every day. He will appear in your heart, or he will personally come. He can do both. So with Haridas Thakur, yes, he was appearing in Haridas Thakur's heart, but he also personally came. So he used to come. So one day, Haridas Thakur was getting older, and his body he couldn't chant because of old age. He couldn't fulfill his vow. So because he couldn't fulfill his vow of chanting 3 lakhs every day, he thought, why should I eat? I don't deserve to eat. I won't eat. So Govinda brought the prasad, and Haridas Thakur thought, I cannot eat. I haven't done my vow. I have not performed. This is my vow, my vrat, and I have not done it. How can I eat? So this is the mood. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he wouldn't drink water until he had done his vow. So when you have this type of determination, then you can purchase Krishna. You have to be this strict. You have to be so strict. So this is how we should be. Of course, we shouldn't take a vow that is beyond us, or ridiculous, or that we're likely to break. But it is good to become very strict like this. I remember years ago I went to India. I forget when it was, some years ago, 7, 8 years ago or something. And I had a real desire to increase my chanting. So at that time, 7, 8 years ago, I wanted to do 32 rounds a day. So I started doing. And I thought, yes, this is very nice. I used to go every day to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, Radha Damodar temple, where Prabhupada was. And I used to pray to Rupa Goswami. This was 88, 89 or something. So 88, I think. So I would go, many evenings I would just go to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, Radha Damodar, and chant. And I really got this mood. Yes, I'm going to keep this up. 32 rounds, 32 rounds. And I thought, should I take a vow? Because I was there, Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. You know, this is the place. You know, Rupa Goswami, and this is where Prabhupada was. So I thought about it for a while, for some days. And I thought, what if I get extra service? What if I get asked to do some extra service and I just can't do it? What if I do some extra, you know, what if I just can't keep it up? So I was in two minds about, because I didn't want to take a vow and then break it. And I thought, what if I'm asked to do some extra service and I have to do it. And I just can't chant so many rounds. So I didn't take a vow in my mind. I didn't take a vow. But I was determined to keep up. And my consciousness went zzz. But I was asked to do it, the service, so I had to try to do it. All the senior devotees asked me, the GBCs, all the different devotees, all the senior devotees, there were many more Prabhupada disciples in those days. So they all asked me to do it. I didn't want to do it, but they all asked me, so I did it. And I knew it would be very difficult, and as I did it, my rounds went zzz. So exactly what I thought would happen, happened. You know? But then after some time, by Krishna's arrangement, they said, all right, now you go and preach instead. Do campaigns and things like preach instead. So immediately I started doing campaigns, and then my rounds went zzz, went off again. You know? See? But the real fact of the matter was that my determination wasn't strong enough. If I'd had very, very strong determination, then I could have made that vow. I could have made it. And by hook or crook or whatever happens, even if it means only sleeping 3 hours a day, I would have kept to it. But because I have bad health and so many other things, I was thinking, well, I might not be able to do it, I might not be able to do it. You see? But actually, if you're Dridavritar means what? Dridavritar. I forget which verse, on the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It means great determination. Dridavritar. Great determination. So if one has Dridavritar, great determination, then yes, you can do this. And so you look at Haridas Thakur. That was his determination. You know, and the Goswamis, they had so much determination that they could think like this. You know. So we also have to have that determination to serve Guru, to serve Prabhupada, and to practice our own hearing and chanting. We have to have this type of determination. Great determination. And the opposite of this type of great determination is to become relaxed, easygoing, isn't it? And this is not going to help us in our spiritual life. If we're relaxed, you know, oh, it's all right, I can do my rounds later. It's all right, I'll fit them in during the day. It's all right, I can get up later. I don't have to read and study so much. You know, this type of relaxed mood. Then we're going to have serious problems in our spiritual life. But if we can become very Dridavritar, resolute in determination, eknistha. What does eknistha mean? Yeah, ek is one. One mind, single-minded. And the opposite of eknistha is bahunistha. Many. Many-minded. So if we can be eknistha, then rapid advancement can be made. So we need Dridavritar and to become eknistha. Very single-minded determination to achieve our result. Single-minded in service of Guru and Gauranga. Single-minded in our practice of hearing and chanting. Single-minded in our following the regulative principles, the principles of Krishna consciousness. We have to become very resolute. And it's only by this that one can become deeper in bhakti. And if you don't have this, then you have to wait until you have it to make real advancement. If you don't have it, then you have to wait either this lifetime or next lifetime until you get it. But you have to become very determined, very single-minded in order to achieve Krishna's full mercy. You might get some lesser type of mercy, but in order to get Krishna's full mercy or his highest mercy, then you need to become very, very determined, convinced that I am going to become a pure devotee. I am definitely going to serve with everything I have, more than the call of duty, beyond the call of duty. I'm going to do what I've been asked to do, my devotional service, with great determination and enthusiasm and eknishta, single-mindedness. I'm going to put all my single-mindedness and effort into my hearing and chanting. I'm not going to let anything disturb my hearing and chanting. I'm going to be careful that I don't eat too much, so I can get up early in the morning, so I can do my hearing and chanting. But our determination is such that as soon as the first opportunity comes, like Mahaprasad comes in the evening or something, or there's some feast and we go and we have one big feast, and then we don't even get up in the morning, isn't it? We don't even get up in the morning. We don't even feel bad about it. That's even worse. It's one thing, to poo out on one's hearing and chanting, but then you should feel so bad about it. But we don't even feel bad about it, isn't it? We don't even feel guilty about it. So, if we're more serious in our hearing and chanting, then naturally we'll be more serious in our service. And if our service is preaching or administration or deity worship, whatever it is, we will be more serious in that. Starts in hearing and chanting. If we're more serious in our hearing and chanting and our smaranam, shravanam, kirtanam, our hearing, chanting and remembering, good hearing and chanting results in smaranam. So if we're more serious in this, if we're more eknistha in this, then we will be more eknistha and more determined in our service, whatever is our service. If it is preaching, if it is book distribution, if it is administration, if it is deity worship, we can become more determined in this. So we have to take the example of the 6 Goswamis and keep their example in our hearts and become very strict. What about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta? He was like Nrsimha Guru, wasn't it? And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would walk up and down, chanting his 1 lakh, like a lion. So this is how you have to be. So any questions? Any questions?
You notice at the end of the song, especially by Radham Das Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they mention themselves, especially in the last line. And almost all of the songs do. Why do they mention themselves in the song?
They mention? Oh, in many of the songs, that this Bhaktivinoda Thakur offers his respects and is weeping, like that? because everything in the spiritual world is very personal. We can say Guru Dev, we can say Vaishnava Thakur, but we can be more personal, we can say the person's name. And when we're asking for mercy, we can plead and say our name. It's like being very personal. Yeah, being very personal. And also they're hoping that other Vaishnavas may read that prayer and they may also do mercy on that person. Narottam is hoping other Vaishnavas may read that prayer and think favorably of Narottam and give him some mercy. If you think favorably of a devotee, then immediately some mercy comes. You know? An Uttama Bhagavat, or Maha Bhagavat, a devotee on the stage of Bhav and beyond, a very highly advanced devotee, all he has to do is think of you favorably. And just by that, and that alone, you can make advancement. He will also give instruction, and it may be to chant Krishna's name. And if you do that, you can also get mercy. But simply by thinking of you favorably, you make advancement. And actually, Prasadaja Bhav, a Uttama Bhagavat, a devotee on a very high stage, can give his followers, he can elevate them to the stage of Bhav by his mercy. It's very, very rare. It's extremely rare, but it has happened. And the example is Narada Muni and Prahlad, and Narada Muni and Dhruva. So in other words, it seems that Dhruva Maharaj coming to the stage of Bhav was not actually due to his practice of sadhana, right? Standing on one leg. You know, his breathing. It was actually due to Narada Muni's mercy. Now there's two types of mercy that can come from Narada Muni. The one mercy is Narada Muni tells Dhruva, this is what I want you to do it. That's one mercy. But I'm not talking about that mercy. I'm talking about the fact that Narada Muni just thought of Dhruva and prayed on his behalf, and Dhruva came to the stage of Bhav. Not the mercy that Narada Muni gave to Dhruva by saying, now do this, now do that. That's also a type of mercy. That's also mercy, that someone comes along and tells you, please chant Krishna's name, do this austerity. So that's what Narada Muni told Dhruva also. But according to Jaiva Dhamma, chapter 22, Dhruva Maharaj was elevated to that stage of perfection by what is called Prasadaja Bhav, Shraya Prasadaja Bhav, coming from a pure devotee, and Narada Muni gave that. But that's a much deeper understanding. Generally, we present the idea that Dhruva attained perfection through practice of sadhana. You know, and in the Satya Yuga, it was austerity, so that's what he did. Stood on one foot and breathed every 3 days, and then water every 6 days and stuff like that. But actually, according to Jaiva Dhamma, a deeper understanding is that he got that mercy actually from Narada Muni. So Maha Bhagavat can do that. And Krishna can also do that. It's called Prasadaja Bhav. But it's very rare. It's very, very rare. But we can still pray for it and hope for it. That may be rare. We can still hope. One day. Anything else? No more questions? Any questions? So Prabhupada can give that. prasadaja. He can give that. And that's why we're serving him. And we're serving those devotees who are serving him. And anyone who can help us serve him, we serve. So I was very fortunate that I was